The history of telecommunication began with the use of smoke signals and drums in Africa, the Americas and parts of Asia. In the 1790s, the first fixed, semaphore systems emerged in Europe. However, it was not until the 1830s that electrical telecommunication systems started to appear. This article details the history of telecommunication and the individuals who helped make telecommunication systems what they are today. The history of telecommunication is an important part of the larger history of communication. Ancient systems and optical telegraphy. Early telecommunications included smoke signals and drums. Talking drums were used by natives in Africa, New Guinea and South America, and smoke signals in North America and China. Contrary to what one might think, these systems were often used to do more than merely announce the presence of a military camp. 2. In rabbinical Judaism, a signal was given by means of kerchiefs or flags at intervals along the way back to the high priest, to indicate the goad for Azazel had been pushed from the cliff. Homing pigeons have occasionally been used throughout history by different cultures. Pigeon post had Persian roots, and was later used by the Romans to aid their military. 3. Greek hydraulic semaphore systems were used as early as the 4th century BC. The hydraulic semaphores, which worked with water-filled vessels and visual signals, functioned as optical telegraphs. However, they could only utilize a very limited range of predetermined messages, and as with all such optical telegraphs, could only be deployed during good visibility conditions. 4. Code of letters and symbols for chap telegraph. Rees's Cyclopedia. Code of letters and symbols for chap telegraph. Rees's Cyclopedia. During the Middle Ages, chains of beacons were commonly used on hilltops as a means of relaying a signal. Beacon chains suffered the drawback that they could only pass a single bit of information, so the meaning of the message, such as "the enemy has been sighted," had to be agreed upon in advance. One notable instance of their use was during the Spanish Armada, when a beacon chain relayed a signal from Plymouth to London that signaled the arrival of the Spanish warships. 5. French engineer Claude Chappe began working on visual telegraphy in 1790, using pairs of clocks whose hands pointed at different symbols. These did not prove quite viable at long distances, and Chappe revised his model to use 2 sets of jointed wooden beams. Operators moved the beams using cranks and wires. 6. He built his first telegraph line between Lille and Paris, followed by a line from Strasbourg to Paris. In 1794, a Swedish engineer, Abraham Edelkrantz, built a quite different system from Stockholm to Drottningholm. As opposed to Chappe's system, which involved pulleys rotating beams of wood, Edelkrantz's system relied only upon shutters, and was therefore faster. 7. However, semaphore as a communication system suffered from the need for skilled operators and expensive towers, often at intervals of only 10 to 30 kilometers, 6 to 19 miles. As a result, the last commercial line was abandoned in 1880,